Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It's currently raining, so I apologise if you can hear that. I thought I would film a review on my Maldives holiday because I should have done this months ago, but I didn't. We're here now. On the way back from our trip, I kind of just made a note on my phone, everything that we did, things I'd recommend doing, things that I wouldn't recommend, as well as like our pricing for things. I'll leave that in at the end, and I guess things that I do differently next time if I were to do it again. So first thing I will say is that we paid just over $5,000 each for this holiday, and that included everything. So I'll do a proper breakdown of pricing at the end of this video, but that's just a general idea of how much we did pay for this holiday. And yeah, just remember that that is each per person, not all together for the two of us. So I will start with our flights over there. So basically, just a bit of background information. We originally booked this in November 2019 for May 2020. Obviously COVID happened and we couldn't go, so it kept getting pushed back, and in November 2021 that's when we actually rebooked it for May 2022. When we rebooked it in November, the borders were still closed and international travel was only just starting to open back up again, so you could fly out of Melbourne internationally but you couldn't fly out of Brisbane. So obviously our original flights were from Brisbane to Singapore and Singapore to Malé. We could have waited a couple more months till February, maybe even January, to book our flights out of Brisbane, but then we would have ran the risk of not getting the flights that we wanted or the times that we wanted. We didn't want to risk any of that, so we ended up booking our flights from Gold Coast to Melbourne, Melbourne to Singapore, and then Singapore to Malé. So we ended up having 6 flights instead of 4, but that's fine. It kind of worked out well because if you watched my 2 Maldives vlogs you would have seen everything, but basically we flew out of Gold Coast I think around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There is so many flights out of Brisbane now internationally because international travel is basically back to normal, so I'm sure you'd find it a lot easier finding flights from now on. Melbourne to Singapore and Singapore to Malé were both with Singapore Airlines, and I would highly recommend that. When we got on Singapore Airlines for our overnight flight, they had a little pillow and a blanket for us for the overnight flight, which was amazing. Like, I did not expect that at all. Layla and I both brought our like hoodie and trackies. Their food was amazing. I'd highly recommend. Like, I'm a pretty fussy eater and I loved everything that they brought out. I was blown away by how good their service was. You get little free earphones for their movie screens on the back of the chairs. The staff are so lovely as well. Like, I could not recommend them anymore. Like, that, it was just such an amazing flight over there and back. When we got to Singapore, we didn't actually leave the airport. Like, we stayed in our terminal pretty much. The main thing we did want to go and see was the butterfly garden. Unfortunately it was closed. It had been closed for quite a few months before that. So yeah, unfortunately that was closed, and it was closed on the way back as well, and we did not have a single minute to spare on the way back. Our flight was delayed from Malé to Singapore, and we had like just under an hour stopover in Singapore to begin with. So yeah, we were kind of rushed, didn't really have much time on the way back. A little bit of information about the package that we bought. So we booked through Flight Centre, and it was this deal where you get flights and accommodation with Club Med for the Maldives. Club Med have 2 islands over there. One of them is Finaloo and the other one is KANI. So we originally booked for Finaloo because it was like a private villa with our own pool and everything. So the 5,150, that was for the Finaloo villa and flights. So it includes everything though. You can order anything you want. So it includes all your food, all your drinks, alcohol, juice, coffee, everything. So you don't have to like literally buy anything over there. Room service though is extra apart from breakfast. So Finaloo and KANI are actually sister islands. So Finaloo, there's not a lot on the island. KANI is the main one. So any activities that you want to go and do, you have to go to KANI to go and do those activities. Yeah, we originally booked for Finaloo, but when we rebooked, we decided to stay on KANI instead of Finaloo. Just made more sense. We still got an overwater villa. I'll try and insert some photos. Honestly, anything that I'm talking about, just go and look in my first Maldives vlog. I showed pretty much everything in that first vlog. The room, what it looks like, our view. We stayed in the Manta Suites. So they are the overwater villas, and they are very private and a bit more exclusive than the beach villas on KANI. All the Manta Suites get their own private bar. So there's obviously the beach bar and I think 2 other bars on the island, but the Manta bar is only for the people in the overwater villas, which was amazing because there was honestly no kids there, and it's kind of, I was honestly shocked at how many kids were on the island. Like, there was so many kids and families there. Like, it wasn't just couples, it was mainly families and a few couples. You also get priority booking for dinner. So there was a buffet as well as a normal restaurant. So with the restaurant, you did need to book overnight time. So you could go there for lunch, didn't have to book. But overnight time, if you wanted to go to the restaurant, you had to make a booking. So it was like a 3-course meal, really good. I think that was in my second vlog. I think it didn't cost anything to book at the restaurant either. So the buffet and the restaurant were completely free. Apart from, I think, some bottles of wine, majority of things were included. So I could literally go up and order almost any alcoholic spirit and they would just do it for me. So yeah, really amazing in that sense. They did room service every morning and afternoon, I think it was. We ordered breakfast to our room every morning, which was amazing because we could just get up, get ready, have breakfast served to us, and then finish it and go. And so yeah, once we'd finish breakfast and leave for activities or whatever we'd go and do in the morning, they would come in and clean our room and restock our mini bar. So I think that's one thing that the beach villas don't get is the private mini bar. They restock it every morning and afternoon. So you can take full advantage of that, but you can also go and order anything from the bar anyway and it's all free. Yeah, their service was so good. I couldn't fault it at all. It was just amazing. They also have an app, so everything is on the app. You order breakfast through the app. You can see the schedule for the day. They had so many activities and like sports and things on. Like they had Pilates classes, they had like a gym workout, a HIIT workout, they had like power walking. They had so many different activities all on their app, so you can just see the schedule for the day and go and pick and choose what you want to do. And yeah, once again, there's no limit on how many alcoholic drinks you could have. You could have coffees, tea, mocktails, cocktails, like anything you wanted they would give you. Like it's all included in your package, which is what I loved so much. Like we didn't spend a single cent on the island, apart from on the last day we ended up getting kind of conned into doing a photo shoot. We didn't really want to do it at first, but we're like, why not? Like we're here, might as well see how the photos turn out and go from there. So we did that photo shoot and they were kind of expensive. They were 20 Australian dollars per photo. So I think we ended up buying 8 of them and just split it between the 2 of us. We only picked photos that the 2 of us were in because he did a few like silly ones with us and we just weren't really into it. We just wanted a few nice ones of us to take home, like for the memories basically. That was the only extra that we actually paid for the whole time we were there, because we went from Finaloo to KANI. KANI is actually cheaper than Finaloo, so we ended up having money left over and they wouldn't really refund it for us because they honoured the price that we originally paid. We didn't really mind anyway because we wanted to do some activities while we were there, and having that extra money gave us the opportunity to do that. They had quite a few options of things that we could do there. They had a speedboat, lobster picnic, Blue Lagoon treasure, turtle safari, sunset barbecue, snorkeling discovery, glass bottom boat, discover Malay, submarine and Malay, parasailing, big game fishing, jet skis. They just had so many things there that we could go and do. So we ended up picking 3 things with our leftover money. So the first thing we did was the Blue Lagoon treasure, which was amazing, incredible. I think also because we got a pretty nice day as well. It wasn't too windy for snorkeling. It was just perfect. Basically, they took us out to the middle of the Indian Ocean and we went snorkeling around this big reef. It was amazing, like absolutely incredible. There's so many different fish swimming around. The water was so warm. I think it was between like 27 and 30 degrees most days. It was so warm, so nice, but wasn't like it wasn't too hot either. We spent about half an hour snorkeling, and then we went to, they took us out to this little blue lagoon, out once again in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Like, there's literally nothing around it. It was just this big sandbank. I'll try and insert a video over here of the blue lagoon. It was just this massive sandbank, and the water was so clear. Like, I have not seen water that clear ever in my life. Like, it was incredible. So yeah, after the sandbank, they took us to a little nearby island that had a lot more civilization than most. I'm not even going to try and say the name of it because I'll probably butcher it. It was really nice to see their culture and how they live over there. There was quite a few resorts on the island as well. It was, yeah, quite big. There was also a Coke factory on it. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see how differently they live compared to us in Australia. I think we left about 8 AM and got back on the island around lunchtime, 12, 1 o'clock, around that time. So yeah, that was a full-on half-day excursion. Honestly, I would rate that probably like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, that was a really good excursion, and I feel as though I got so much out of it. Like, I really enjoyed myself. The second thing that we did was parasailing. That was incredible. Once again, something that I've never done before, but I loved it so much. Honestly, I was a little bit nervous at first. Like, you're just sitting in the middle, like in the front part of the boat, waiting to go up in the air. They strap you in, and you literally just kind of like float off the back up in the air, and you go so high up. Like, oh, I didn't get any photos or anything of that because we didn't take our phones. We just wanted to really enjoy it. You spent about 15 minutes up in the air, like from when you leave the boat to when you come back down, and I thought it'd be so windy and like kind of like rough up there, but it was so calm. There was no wind, nothing. It literally felt like you were just floating in the air. Like, it was incredible. Honestly, if you have the chance to do that, I'd highly recommend. I think also the fact that we were on an island as well, like, because of how far up we were, we could see our whole island. We could see Finaloo, which was the sister island. Yeah, it was just truly incredible. Once again, I'd probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. Like, it was just incredible. The only downside of that probably would have been sitting in the sun for so long waiting for other people to go, because they took us in a group of, there's 3 pairs that went up in the sky, so we were sitting in the sun for a little while waiting for the others and kind of got a little bit burnt. And then our third excursion that we booked was the turtle safari. To be completely honest, I would 100% recommend the Blue Lagoon over the turtle safari. We expected the turtle safari to be like snorkeling with a large amount of turtles, right? Swimming around the reefs, having turtles swimming around. To be fair, the sea was very choppy. It was kind of raining on and off. Like, it wasn't the best day to go snorkeling. It was very rough. We saw 4 turtles in about 40 minutes. We're meant to be snorkeling for about an hour, but I think we only lasted about 40 minutes max. Like, I thought a turtle safari, you'd be swimming like in the reefs with multiple turtles around, but it was kind of like spot the turtle instead. So there was like, I don't know, 10, 15 of us swimming around, and then our tour guide would be like, oh look, there's a turtle. And then there'd be, all of us would just swarm to the turtle. And it wasn't just our group either. There was, I think, 2 or 3 different groups of people swimming around the same reef. So yeah, it wasn't the best experience. I saw so many more fish and different types of fish on the Blue Lagoon Treasure over the turtle safari. Yeah, I don't know, it was very average, to be honest. I'd probably give it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. Like, I was very disappointed in how little turtles we saw on a turtle safari, if you know what I mean. Next is some things on the island that I noticed that were a lot different to Australia. They all walk on the other side of the footpath over there. This is just like small random things that I noticed while we're over there. The sand is so white over there. Like, in Australia, our sand's kind of yellow. Like, it's white, but it's kind of yellowish. Over there, their sand is white, like it literally looks like concrete. There were mostly French people on the island and Americans. My friend and I were literally the only Aussies there, apart from another Aussie couple arrived, I think like on our second or last day there. Their second language must be French, because we had a few people come up to us and just start speaking in French. I've never been in a country where they all speak a completely different language. Even at their parties, they had like a show kind of thing on each night, and then like a party afterwards. They're very big with their parties over there. The entertainment was really good. It's mainly just them like miming songs and like performing them. A lot of their songs that they perform are all English. I think there was only like 1 or 2 French songs out of the whole hour that they played. On our like 3rd or 4th night after the show, we thought we'd stay for the after party and like stay at the bar, have a few drinks and have a dance, whatever. The first song that they play is completely in French. Like we couldn't understand a word that they were saying. I think we stayed for about 3 or 4 songs and they played 1 English song. That was it. Like everything else was in French. All of their staff over there are so welcoming and so nice and lovely. Like every single person you walk past would say hello. It's a really small, close-knit island that like it's still big, but small enough for people to remember you and remember what you've done the day before and whatnot. Like, yeah, it was just really nice and relaxing. The pricing of things, like I said, all our drinks and food, everything was included. So I don't think Club Med actually do packages where not everything is included, apart from the upgrades like the lobster bottles, certain bottles of wine and whatnot. I think majority of their packages are all inclusive. Total that we paid was about $5,150, I think. Flights were around $1,500. Remember, that's for 6 flights though, not 4. Like I said, KANI was cheaper than Finaloo. I don't remember the exact price for the accommodation for the full 5 nights. I probably should have mentioned that before, but we stayed on the island for 5 nights and spent 32 hours travelling there and then 24 hours travelling back. So yeah, we spent a full like 2 or 3 days travelling. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how much our accommodation was, but it would have been around $3,000-ish with our leftover money that we booked activities with. So the turtle safari was 120 USD. So they all go off USD over there, so you have to convert it to Australian dollars, which is obviously a bit more. And parasailing was 140 USD. There was so much more to do on KANI than there is on Finaloo. Finaloo's more private. I think it's more of like a honeymoon type island. And lastly, things that I do differently next time, even traveling anywhere else. These are things that I kind of picked up on that I thought I probably should have done this or I probably should have done that. A travel card, you can get them at the post office I think, and I think with your bank as well. I didn't actually need it this time around because Layla had one, like a passport and card holder type thing. Seeing how much Layla used hers and I was like struggling with all my stuff, I was like, I need one for next time. It's basically like a little wallet that fits your passport in it, your tickets, a little spot for your SIM card. I'm not sure if you would have seen my carry-on or not, but it's basically like a duffel bag. Personally, I would bring a proper small carry-on suitcase next time, just because it's so much easier. Like my duffel bag, I had to really like carry it. It would have been so much easier just to get one of those mini suitcases with 4 wheels. So something small but not a big deal. Yeah, they're probably my top tips. A general review on our stay. I hope this video doesn't go for too long. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really supports my channel, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!